Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome to the Not Related podcast.
What's up?
I'm your co-host, Alexandria.
I'm your co-host.
Nick, we're both co-hosts. That's what a co-host
Wait,
is.
I thought it was a host and a host and a co-host.
I think you can have a host and a co-host, but we are both co-hosts, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it?
Sure.
Isn't that how it goes?
It does now.
We're both of us are the co-hosts of the Not Related podcast. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
We're very unprofessional to not know this. But
I just live here. I don't know.
I feel like nobody expected anything else when it comes to us. Like, we don't really know what we're doing. We just fake everything and pretend.
Facts.
I mean, that's my whole life. I just fake my whole life and pretend.
Facts.
I wake up every day and just pretend like I know what I'm doing, and I never actually do. What about you?
Same.
Same. All right, guys. So this week I opened up on my Instagram story, and I asked you guys what you wanted to hear from Nick and I, and I got some pretty interesting responses. Did you do that on your Instagram story or no?
With the
Like, what do you guys want to hear from us?
I think I did on the picture. I think.
Well, I don't remember, Nick.
I don't know. I have it in our bio to send us DMs
a
and
DM.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you guys ever want to hear anything, send us a DM. But weekly, I will be probably saying stuff like, "Hey, what do you guys want to hear for next week?" And Nick probably will too. When we get our shit together and actually do what we're supposed to do with our lives.
One day,
which probably will.
Yo, how is
never
the
happen.
mic quality though, and the camera quality?
Yeah, so right now, guys, we are recording on new mics, which, remember, for the first episode we ever did, the mics arrived. We didn't tell them. The mics arrived the second we ended the podcast.
Literally like minutes after. It was ridiculous.
So literally we walk out in the kitchen and Nick's like, "Oh, look, there's a package at the front door. I wonder what it could be." And he opens it. He's like, "Alex, this is the mics."
Yeah, if we would have waited like an hour, we would have been fine.
We were just too excited to record for you guys. So
yeah.
First episode quality probably isn't nearly as good as it is today. At least we hope that.
Hopefully. Y'all aren't like, wow, now it sucks.
They're listening like, actually, no.
Yeah.
It sucks today too.
That's not good.
But also, guys, we are now recording a video as well at the same time. So we're also videoing this, and it will be up on YouTube.
Okay, we did record a video last time, though.
We did, and it just didn't work because you want to tell them what happened, Nick?
I tried to record it in 4K off my phone, and big mistake. Literally, it took up 36 gigabytes, and my whole phone, like, crashed. Like, I couldn't even use it. And it was a brand new. Like, I just got it, and it was freaking out.
Oh, man, the struggle is so
I couldn't
real.
even watch the video back. Like, the file was too big.
Yeah, Nick's like, "Hey, Alex, I can't send it to you. Like, the file is literally too big." And
I
I'm like,
tried for
"Dang
hours.
it." Yeah. No, I believe you. But it sucks.
So frustrating.
So the first episode is actually up on our YouTube also, but it's just like our like a picture of us and then audio.
Just the audio.
But it's all good because now hopefully we'll have video, and then when I'm out of town or traveling or whatnot, then we'll just try and also record video, but maybe through Skype or something like that. So we'll try to always have video as well. Anyways, back to the important part of the podcast. Let's get started on what we want to talk about today. So, I noticed, Nick, that TikTok changed their age this week, and it was like a big announcement that now you have to be 16 to have a TikTok account. Or like if you're under 16 and you have TikTok, they automatically change your account to private, I guess. So I guess you can still have a TikTok, but you're not supposed to like post content to where other people can see, maybe
That's
besides
ridiculous.
like your friends. But I'm not going to lie, I totally agree with the choice. And I want to get your opinion on it, Nick. I agree with the choice, and I'll tell you why. My TikTok, sometimes my For You page has like actual soft porn on it, like consistently.
Okay, I'll agree to that. I see what you're saying. So like the 13 to 16-year-old girls that are
Yeah. And I'm like Nick,
well, it's annoying too for me because like I'm 24, I'm married, like, and I am not a pedophile, like, at all. Like, let's just be straight up, okay? And it sucks that like I have to sit there and like I'm like, oh no, like. I'm, like, worried for my life. Like, I don't want to watch this. But, like, it's literally just coming up on my page. And I'm like, that's not fair to me. Like, the frick? I'm not going around searching for this. Like, what the heck?
You can search my history. You'll probably see bad things, but you won't see child porn.
You will not see that. I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And I agree with that, though.
Well,
that's not right.
Yeah, the thing is...
But, like, okay, but Instagram, Facebook, all those places will allow you under 16 to, like, post without private accounts. So, like, what's going to happen now?
You're right, but that is so true. But I will say, like, TikTok especially, like, I swear to you, I'm just scrolling my For You page. Like, I'm watching videos about animals. And then somehow, like a 14-year-old girl is, like, in a, like, string thong bikini. And it shows up. It shows up on my For You page. And it really makes me feel a certain type of way. One, because I go in the comments and I'm seeing a bunch of 50-year-old men commenting. And I'm, like, very disgusted. Then I'll see one comment almost every time. And they'll say, boys, she's a minor. And then everyone's like, oh no, like, she's a minor. I no longer think she's hot because she's a minor. And I'm like, it's actually a bad situation for...
It's so bad for everybody. Because
for everyone.
Like, for everybody. That's,
yeah, because it's like, really, how do you blame the guys? Because...
Okay, and let's just be honest. Girls are starting to look older.
No, that's my point, is you can't always blame the men.
Bro, I've seen 13-year-old girls that...
I know.
I swear they're 18.
Like, I know. No, I swear too.
I don't know if it's the makeup they're wearing or the way they're like.
I was following this one girl on TikTok for like a year because I thought she was like 21, and then she posted her video, like a video a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "Happy 17th birthday," and I was like, "Wait, you're a minor? Like you're under 18 years old, and I've been following you on TikTok? Like, oh my gosh! Like, please, like I just can't." So. I actually really appreciate that TikTok is starting to make more changes to like anyone under, I guess, 16. I really think it should be 18 or older, but that's a whole nother story. But at least they're like starting to do something because I've had way too many people say that there's been way too much like soft porn on the For You page.
I don't think they need to do that. It's what you're saying right there. It's the For You page. They need to change the For You page. They're constantly pushing all these girls doing this stuff, and it's just like that's what I feel like is the wrong thing. Is like all that junk that's constantly popping up.
Well, it's hard.
Or what they should do, or here's what else they should do. If you're under 16, automatically your stuff is like through a more censored review system. Like they need to make like a new algorithm for that.
So I have been told that if you're under 18. Or under 16. Like if you have a childlike face, there's a filter, which is why you don't typically see like 10-year-olds on your For You page because they filter out like younger looking people. I have heard that, and then like if it makes it through the filter, it's actually like removed or whatever, or it's removed from the For You page. It's not removed from like your following tab. Like if you're following a 13-year-old, you can still see their videos on your following tab, but it's removed from the For You page. Now that's just what I've been told, but I think TikTok needs to be way more like, I guess they need to give us way more information about that. Cause like, how come we don't know that? Like, why do we not know exactly what's going on with the under 18 profiles? Cause I'm like, it does make me feel a certain way when I see like 14-year-old girls that are in thong bikinis, like, you know, and they're like bouncing their butt. And like normally if they were over 18, I could care less. I'd be like, do your thing, girl, make your money, whatever, make your money on OnlyFans. Like, I don't give a crap. But when they're under 18 and they're a minor, I don't want to see anything involving like...
Look, nobody really does.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not good because I've seen so many males that I know that are like, oh my gosh, Alex, like, look at this girl, she's so hot. And I'm like, you know that creator is 16, right? And they're like,
yeah, and then it just puts you in a weird situation.
It puts you in a very bad situation because then
it's like, yo, we're not trying to catch a case.
The men are like, wait, Alex, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, their age is 16. So if anything, I think you need to start everyone has to like put their age in their bio, or TikTok should have their age on their profile. Like, you know how it says like name, whatever, like not just their username, it should also say their age. And if they're over 18, maybe they need to like prove that they're an adult to even like get that. You know what I'm saying? Because this at this point, I just think it's disgusting that there's so many minors on my For You page and I like can't get rid of them.
You literally can't, because the For You page is not based on that.
I know, it sucks. It's like my For You page is typically very tailored to me, and I typically have videos that I'm interested in. But then it's like, sometimes things do like stick through the cracks through there, because it is. A lot of the times I'm like, I would never like a video like that. Like, why is it even on my For You page?
Yeah, it's weird. The For You page, and they change it so much because it's an AI system.
Yeah.
And they told me that. They were like, it changes literally every single hour. Every hour the algorithm changes. Yeah, which is why it's like, they're like, there's no specific posting times, there's no this, there's no that. That's also why TikTok is one of the only apps that like just about anybody can get like
go
10
viral.
seconds of fame for.
Yeah, they go viral for like one video, and then all their other videos get like
because the algorithm is like
views.
Constantly changing, and if you just manage to post the right video in the right hour.
Yeah,
boom,
no,
there you
absolutely.
Go.
And TikTok is made for new accounts. So like when you're a brand new account, they push your videos, like your first few videos, way before they like anything else.
Yeah, they made it to where it's addictive. Like they
know what they're doing. They made it to where like, because if you post one video on TikTok, it gets 100,000 views. You're like, I'm gonna be famous and I'm gonna keep posting, and then you never stop posting, and then you never get famous. So it's like, it just is what it is. But then again, I've seen people actually, have not just 10 seconds of fame from TikTok. Like they started it, they did really well, and every video gets decent views now. But that's very rare. But then I've seen a bajillion people that get one super viral video on TikTok, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm dropping out of school and my career because I am going to be TikTok famous. And I'm like,
bro, I always tell people, like, here's the thing about TikTok. It's sketchy because, and it's hard.
Sketch.
It's honestly hard. Like, the fact that I've been on the scene as long as I have, too, has, like, honestly kind of amazed myself. Mm-hmm. Because I've been doing this for, like, 3 years now. And, like...
I think you've been doing it, like, 4 years, Nick.
No, I don't think that long. It was, like, 3.
It's, like, 2020, like, end of 2016 or beginning of 2017. It's 2021 now, Nick. You've been doing it quite some time.
I'm coming up on my 4th year, yeah. I definitely am. I'm coming up.
I know. Because I've been doing it
like
less than you.
October of this... Yeah, no, it's just been a little over 3 years.
I've been doing it less than you, like a year less than you.
Because I remember it was a year after I started.
Yeah.
Is when I bought my first house.
Hey, because you make that money, boy. You make that
money.
Internet money.
I remember on my 22nd birthday, I bought this house that we're filming right now or whatever. But my first house that I bought, I was like, shoot.
And this house be fire, Nick. So I'm proud of you. I remember I was proud of you when you did that. But that's the thing is people see people that get like they do really well on the internet, and they're like, yo, this is gonna be my career now. Like I got one viral video.
Like, bro, what most people don't realize too is like the amount of effort it takes, especially the farther on you get in it. People think it's easier because you get a little bit more like established, right? But there also becomes this it's like you start, honestly, it just gets hard to like continue with ideas and continue with stuff. Like you've already used all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And you've done all the, whatever, and it's like now you're constantly looking for hidden gems. It's like it's almost like you're in a competition with yourself too, to keep outdoing yourself, and it gets to a point where it can really be like taxing, like just on your mind and stuff.
And
like,
you just like people don't realize you don't get to take days off. So it's like you like even when we're on vacation, like you've got like actually when I went to South Africa, I only posted like I think that was the most I've not posted on the internet in at least 3 years.
But the thing is too, like in doing that, like people don't realize like what their hobby is. It's our job. So there is that job aspect of it where it's like, kind of, it can be kind of stressful because it's like, we still got to put out good content. We got to put out good stuff to make money.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, like it also, what everybody else is doing for fun, like we still like it. So it's still fun, but it's literally fun 24/7. So it's kind of like, it's weird. It's like hard to explain because it's just like over time, like you kind of just want to take a break from the fun.
Yeah, for sure. Like everyone thinks it's like all fun and games and easy. And
it is fun, but at the same time, there is a job attached to it. Therefore, it can take away some of the fun. Because it's like you still now got to post for money. Yeah. And you have to post in order to like actually be able to continue to make a living.
And you just don't get. I'd much rather do this and not take days off. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
But like when I travel with people that like maybe don't do this full time, like they're like they get aggravated with me because I'm like I have to post now. Like I have to.
Or we have sponsors. Edit. We have different things like we have to.
And
keep
they're
happy.
like they're kind of like no like like, and I feel like I'm being annoying, like maybe with like some people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
a lot of people
sucks,
don't understand.
But I'm like, I can't take a day off because, you know, the more days you take off, the less, you know, less views you get, the less money you make, and then it transfers over to your whole social media account.
It really does.
Then the algorithm
people
hates
don't
you.
understand that, like, taking off with social media, it can be kind of hard to do that. Like, everybody deserves a break, yeah, but it is hard because there's so much competition in social media, like so much, that when you take a break, you just set yourself back.
Yeah, you do.
Usually you
do.
set yourself back. Now, sometimes in certain situations, it is good to take a break. And, you know, if you're working on really good content, right? Like, let's just say you're not posting for a little bit, but you know the content that you're getting ready to produce is so good, and that's what you're spending your time on. Like, that's always a good thing. I've done that a few times where I've kind of like, I know most of you guys have noticed my posts. I've posted less, but in reality, my views have been the best probably that they've, like, ever been.
Because you've been like focusing more on
I've been focusing more on like quality
yeah.
over quantity. For like a while, it was all about quantity.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of quantity. And part of that too is because, you know, ads and different things. When I don't want my whole page to be full of ads and all that stuff. But now I kind of was able to step back, and now it's like sweet because it's like I can charge more for ads.
Yeah, for sure.
I can charge more for ads because now my views are like way more consistent. And I don't know. I'm just surprised that I'm like still like doing this, and it's not like I've like died off at all. Like I've only gotten bigger like with time, which I thought after my first year, I was honestly thinking, oof, this might be my peak. Most people social media is honestly for a lot of people, it's like a 1-year thing.
Yeah, and that's because we were raised to have discipline, though.
Yeah, that's
the thing is, I know a lot of people that they do have like their 15 seconds of fame, and they do so well for literally like 6 months.
Yep.
And then they just drop off the internet.
Yeah.
But it's because they don't have discipline.
And that's a hard pill to swallow too, for people to like hype you up, and then out of nowhere they just go, yeah, you fell off.
I wish people had more discipline though, because I know so many people in my life that would do so well, like doing full-time social media. Like, and they just don't, they won't like actually do the work.
See, yeah, that's the thing.
Sucks.
A lot of people, they don't know how to put up with like.
Well, they'll do the work for 30 days, but then when then they just drop off.
Well.
Now, Dad would have never let us do that. That's why we're this way. Is literally because Mom and Dad would have slapped us in the face and been like,
well, because Dad didn't let us quit anything. If we wanted to do something, we had to like finish it out. At least to a certain extent. So like that's just kind of how we were raised. So
for those of you who don't know, our father was a U.S. naval commander.
Yeah.
He was in the Navy for 22 years. He was even the XO of an entire naval base. So
he was in charge of like 2,000 people.
So we didn't.
He was 14th for being president. I remember seeing that little plaque. Yeah, there's like a plaque that he had in his office or whatever, and it showed like all the commands. And it went right down, and he was like number 4. Like if 13 people died, like that would have been president.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was something like that. I was
don't
like,
even
what
know
the
that.
heck?
Nick's like, my dad is 14.
My dad is 14th away from president.
I totally didn't know.
Well, who's your dad? Yeah.
Your dad?
Yeah. Well, my dad.
So that's funny.
My dad's better than your dad.
So it's funny, but like that's how we were raised though. So it makes sense why we post so consistently. But I know so many people, like people are like, wow. And I'm like, we're not that special. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't feel like we're that special. I just think that we have discipline and consistency.
No. We're not special. And here's actually what kind of frustrated me, to be straight up with you guys. Like when I started social media, it's frustrating to see, like, no offense to like just certain creators, but they just blow up off of like one video and they'll just get like all this hype and whatnot. And it is frustrating to see like something that like I had to put an insane amount of work into to get where I'm at. People literally put just like no effort in, and then they don't appreciate it either. And that's so frustrating. Like people don't know this about me, but the way that I made social media happen was not like most people. Like I live streamed. Those of you that have been following me since the very beginning know that I got known for live streaming, and I was streaming 8 hours. Okay, I had a full-time job working at a school. I was an assistant teacher, full-time job. I worked at my church, another full-time job. Well, it was part-time pretty much at the church. And then I also was like trying to do like the social media thing, and I got this opportunity to like start live streaming. So I was doing that. So I'd come home from work. I'd stream for 8 hours a day. I did that every single day, taking 0 days off for 3 months. And then finally, as soon as that 3 months was up, boom, I started making a little bit of money. But I didn't take 1 day off for an entire year.
No, I know.
Like, not even, like, I live streamed every day, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours every day, even with another job. Finally, I was making money, and I was like, what the heck? I don't need my other job, so I quit it.
That's what I did, too. This. Same thing. I was working full-time Merrill Lynch. I would come home, and I would edit and make videos and live stream until I went to bed, and then I would do... Oh, I have water right here. Hey, and then I would do it again.
Bad.
And, like, non-stop. So it's like I didn't have, like, too much, like, legitimate off days at all until I did this, like... But I wanted to do the internet full-time. And then, like, my ex, like, he convinced me to do it because he's like, I think you could do well. And I was like, I don't think I could do it full-time. He's like, you can.
Oh, you
he's
are
like,
now.
I believe in you. Yeah, but he didn't. But, like, he was the one who convinced me to do it. And so I'm glad he did. But same thing, Nick. Like, people don't realize, like... You don't just quit your job. Well, I mean, that wasn't my story. Like, I was still working full-time and had a part-time job on top of that at the church. Same with you. Working full-time, part-time job, came home, made and edit videos, and live streamed every single day. So...
And that junk is... It was a lot. Like,
it was so much.
I remember Avery being like, are you going to come to bed tonight?
Yeah.
Like...
I was like,
like,
no.
spend time with your family. And I'm like, I want to. Like, yes, I do. But, like, I also have, like, this really hard, like, work ethic. And I admit my balance wasn't very great when I first started. But part of it was, like, I just really, really, really wanted to make it in doing this. So I made that happen.
Well, I feel like we've been talking about this a lot. But I hope that maybe if someone's listening and they want to do it full-time or something like that, that you know from this podcast that me and Nick are not like anything crazy special or anything. Like
not at all.
To be honest, Nick and I just Nick's like, we are not special.
Not at all. But people will hype me up now like I am. I'm like, I am not.
But I'm like, I hope if you're watching this, you know that if you want to do something and if everyone else says you're stupid for doing it, which everybody did tell me that I was going to be dumb for quitting my job. Literally the only person that didn't was my ex and like my parents. And everyone else was kind of like, Alex, this doesn't sound like a great idea, quitting your job.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can't listen
sketchy.
to what other people say to do.
But, like, here's the thing, too. Like, if you're going to do that just like we did, if you're going to quit, like, straight up, you better be, like, determined. Like, you better want it.
You better do it 16 hours a day.
No, like, the way I always looked at it is everybody's journey is different. So, like, just because, like, you see people, like, let's just throw out, like, the Sway Boys, right? They don't have to do really anything. They're just going to make a lot of money, and they're just going to, you know, get a ton of views just for
that. But that's
them,
like 99% of people's not their story at all.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like some people, I hate to admit it, they just kind of get handed things a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's life in general.
And I don't want to say that all their stuff is easy because, like, I know that they work and they put a lot of time. Like,
they
do
still
post
make
a lot.
Edits,
they do post a lot. They do
edits,
all
make
that.
videos
so
all day.
It's evident they are working a lot. But as far as, like, the content goes, like, let's just be honest. It's crap. Like, it's not like they're really, like, creating anything that's
most
like,
people,
creative
that's not...
or anything. They just get in front of a camera and just do whatever. Which I get it. That's a general social media influencer nowadays. Like, everybody just kind of does whatever.
But that's not
that way
That's not most people's story, though. So, like, if you're watching and you want to do the internet full time...
You might have to put in 20 hours for somebody else putting in 1. Like, that's just the way you have to look at it.
You will have to put in 20 hours.
That's honestly the way you have to look at it. Like, most people think, well, they're just putting in this amount of time, and it's like... But you also don't see what goes on behind the cameras. Like, most people don't know that about me. Most people think, boom, like, I just post a video, and, like, that's it. Like, that's all I do. And, like, it's just real quick and whatnot. Like, oh, it takes me 5 minutes to make a TikTok. In reality, sometimes it takes me up to an hour or so. Like...
Dude, some of those videos I make take me hours. Like the transition stuff.
Because, like as I get going to, I get more creative ideas and more things. Like, oh, I can say this, or I can do this, or blah, 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 blah.
For sure.
And I'm like, I got to do a retake. I got to keep doing this. Because everything is a fight for views. And, like, I try not to base my content around, like, oh, I just want to get a lot of views. Because that's not good either. But at the same time, like we said, like, in order to keep it as a job, you realistically have to get views. Like, if you don't get any views, no companies are going to want to sponsor you. You're not going to get paid for views. You're not going to get paid for none of that, you know, and then your career is going to go. So it's, like, it's hard because, like, especially the scenario I'm in where, like, what I'm doing is, like, all fun content and, like, funny and, like, all that kind of stuff. It's hard because it's, like, I have to keep things, and I'm trying to keep things my style. I'm trying not to copy anybody. That's a big thing I really try to do. I try not to copy anybody, and it's difficult, and it's frustrating, too, seeing how all the dancers, everything that they do is copied. and they don't get any hate. But if a comedy creator even has something similar to another comedy creator, you get ripped alive. Like, I've made videos, and then somebody's like, oh, well, it's just like this. And I'm like, oh, my God, bro. Like, freaking Charlie D'Amelio hasn't made one TikTok dance. She literally copies every single one, and you guys hype her up like she's the best thing on the planet, and all she's doing is copying. And if I even find inspiration from another creator, I'm a copycat. I'm like, oh, my God, bro. Comedy creators got it hard out there these days, and we're always trying to outdo each other, and, you know, what's a funny-ass video, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyways, we're ranting on about nothing.
Your videos are funny, though. But that's the thing is, like, if you're watching this or listening to this, and you want to pursue any dream that you are interested in, that maybe
don't
people...
do it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do it. You'll never make it. You're a nobody. I'm just kidding.
This is why Nick is a comedy creator and I'm a positivity creator. I just want to let you guys know, like, you can do anything you set your mind to, and I believe that too. Though, I hope that you guys believe this, that even if everyone in your life says you're crazy or stupid or, like, you know, just
a loser, a no life, you're nobody.
Well, not even just, like, I'm not talking about the internet. Anything you want to do with your life that you are interested in, do it and just put forth that effort. I'm not saying quit your job right away. I'm saying
no. What you need to do?
Come home from
Here's
work
what you do
every day and work on that hustle.
Keep your job.
Yeah.
Put in time into whatever is your next step.
And it'll happen
for you.
Always and I truly believe if you manifest what you want in your life,
for sure,
and you work hard and you like speak life to it, and every day you tell yourself that this is something that you deserve and something that will happen for you. One day you'll wake up and you'll make more money from your side hustle than your main job, and then you'll quit your main job. That's what happened to Nick, and that's what happened to me, and that's what will happen to you. So I truly believe that. So maybe this episode turned into like a motivational. I don't know what it is.
Motivational.
But
Monday.
I love this stuff. I want to have a motivational podcast, even, by myself one day. But I really, truly believe that you guys can set your mind to anything that you want, and you can achieve it. Don't let anyone tell you that you're an idiot or that whatever, but you guys can absolutely do what you want to do with your life. And as long as it's not hurting somebody else, go for it. 100% go for your dream and make it happen. And so that's just what I think. And maybe you listen to this podcast. I'm like, this is a sign. If you're listening to this is a sign to keep listening to the podcast. This is a sign to subscribe to our podcast. Yeah. No, this is a sign. This is a sign to go for your dreams. And if nobody else believes in you, rewatch this video. Nick and I believe in you. Right, yes. Nick? Right, Nick?
No, I don't.
Nick's like, actually, you're going to fail, and we don't believe in you.
No, like, I'm the biggest believer in the fact that if you want something, you'll make it happen.
Like, and Mom and Dad raised us that way.
If you want to fly, make it happen.
If you want to fly.
Jump off of a cliff right now. No.
Do not. Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. And don't tag us. Don't jump off a cliff and then tag Not Related Podcast.
Like, dang, Nick told me to do that.
Nick Smithman said to jump off a cliff.
No. Do not jump off a cliff. It's a joke. We got to put a disclaimer because there's somebody out there that's probably like, Nick told me if I jump off of a cliff that I can fly. I believe.
Well, there's also something else that, Mom and Dad raised us to always go for our dreams, but more so than that, they raised us to work for our dreams, not just go for your dreams. Not just like, oh, I'm gonna be, but not just do here's super well and everything.
Just not quitting. Just because
that's what they raised us to do, yeah.
Not to quit just because it's tough or because it's going to take long.
Nick, let's talk about our childhood for a moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Like, let's do it. I'm like, oh boy. But you guys should know this. Like, on our podcast, we should open up about our childhoods and our life a little bit, at least some. And basically our childhood, we just didn't, our parents did not put up with crap. Let me just say that. Like, we had to work really hard. Like, for example, I'll just go ahead and say this. My mom and dad will tell you right now, they did not give us any money growing up. So Nick
listen, I used to mow the lawn for 25 cents. Okay? And that was after I did it for free. Forever. Like, with chores we didn't get paid, which I know a lot of people don't get paid for chores and whatnot anyways. But, like, look, let me give you guys an example of how much my parents wanted to teach us work ethics. My neighbor hired me when I was 10, maybe, to mow his lawn, right? And I was like, oh, sick, I'm going to get some money. So he told me he was going to pay me $20, right? At the very end of this, okay, my dad's standing right there at the very end of this. I mowed his lawn. I did a good job, right? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. But I was 10. Anyways, he told me he was going to pay me $20. Finished mowing the lawn. He gives me $30. He gave me a $10 bonus. I was like, oh my gosh.
$10.
I can go to GameStop and get like a couple used games. Like,
Holy
this is
crap.
sick. Anyways, so he was giving me $30. My dad butts in. Who the frick told this guy he could say something?
Did Dad really do this?
No, listen.
I totally believe this.
Butts in. And I'm looking at this man like, you have got to be joking me. And he goes, no, he doesn't need 30. And then he goes, 10's fine. He'll take 10.
That is Nick. That is our childhood to a T right there.
He goes, he'll
that's
take
all we
10?
need to tell them.
And I'm like, no, I'll take 30. What the frick are you talking about? And he's like, no, he'll take 10. And I'm standing right. He goes, well, he looks at me and said, well, son, do you want the 30? And my dad looks at me and I'm like, I'm going to get beat if I don't. Nick's
going like this.
I'm like, I want the 10. I'm like about to cry. I'm
Nick's
like, what
but
the heck?
if I take the 30, Dad's going to literally beat me right now. No, okay, he didn't beat us.
He didn't beat us.
He didn't beat us.
But I was like, dude, I'm going to get in trouble.
No, that's the thing, guys. Like,
he's still to this day, he's like, yeah, but that taught you some good lessons about working hard for what you get and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, but I'd be $20 richer right now. I'd have $20 more in my pocket right now if it wasn't for that moment.
Yeah, right in your bank.
I went from I was supposed to get 20 to getting 30, so I got a blessing. And then it was all ripped from me.
All right, that's stupid though. That's stupid. In life, take the blessings. Take the extra $10.
Yes,
like that's
take
stupid.
$10. If your dad's trying to do
listen
it,
to Dad.
Yeah,
no,
don't listen to it.
But I will say, like, we were raised just like no bullshit. Like, for instance, we just didn't get money. I had a job from the time I was 13 years old. I went to an audition for Radio Disney when I was 13. I got the job, and from the time I was 13, like, I worked. I had a job. So
now she's doing podcasts.
And whoa, that's weird. Yeah, now I just started a podcast.
It's like a full circle.
It's like the life comes full circle. But yeah, so I always worked, I worked retail on top of that job, and then so I always had like jobs. Even in high school, I had more than one job. So it's like we just were always taught, work for your money, work hard, don't give up, don't quit.
Well, the other thing too was like if you quit a job, you better have one lined up. Otherwise,
we always did that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like if I ever wanted a new job,
you gotta have a new one.
You gotta.
Well, you have to. We didn't have money.
One set up.
We didn't have money. If we didn't, we literally had no choice.
No, but not just that. Like Dad did not want that. Like I remember when I was working at Chik-Fil-A and like I was trying to get a new job.
Yeah.
So I got a new job, and then I was able to quit Chik-Fil-A. Which, oh my gosh, should we save the Chik-Fil-A story?
Oh man, Nugget Nick.
Yep.
Nugget Nick.
Oh, listen, Chik-Fil-A and me. I love Chik-Fil-A's food. I still love it, but
Nick got fired.
I did not get fired. I quit. I actually quit. No, this is the craziest story. Like,
okay, tell the story because honestly,
it's
perfect. Yeah, you got to tell the story. This is a good time to tell.
This is like a headliner podcast story.
Honestly, I think you should tell the story.
This is good. Okay. All right. So, anyways, I was working at Chik-Fil-A for probably, I think I only worked there like 4 months. Anyways, so the guy who hired me, he was a pastor's kid, right?
We are pastor's kids.
Yeah, we
also.
are pastor's kids.
Wait, before you go on, we have to tell. They don't even know this.
Okay.
After Dad was a naval commander, he quit from 22 years in the Navy.
He got saved and like.
He got saved. He became a Christian. I was a bit older, but anyway, he got saved, and then he. And then he decides,
he started his own church.
He got offered a job making like crazy money right out of the military. And he declined that job to be a pastor and make. I mean, they don't make money. They really don't make money.
He didn't get a paycheck for like his first few years. Even
he didn't even get one paycheck, and he paid.
But it shows too. Like, but I respect that. Like, I've always respected Dad for the aspect of like he's taught us like.
It's extremely respectful. I respect the crap out of him.
Like, do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Not always what's gonna make you a profit too. Like there's like an integrity aspect, and like that's something like I've really always admired Dad for is like his integrity is really high.
That is great. Yeah,
he'll never let it go for anybody.
Mom
like he will
Dad.
not drop his integrity based on what anybody thinks about him. So,
but Mom
was also
very Mom was always very spiritual growing up.
Mom's good too.
Mom's always been very spiritual, and she whatever. So she eventually convinced my dad of things, and then dad got saved, and they both started their own church. So they're both pastors. They're both pastors. It's a double pastor church. But anyways, so it's a cool non-denominational, like wear what you want, whatever. So it's not like a super
it's not like a
religious thing, because like I just want to say that so people aren't like wait what? It's not
we don't really believe in religion. We believe in like relationship, like have a relationship with Jesus, not just go to church just because you have to go every Sunday. Like you should want to go. You should want to go, and you should also want to have a relationship with Jesus and God and all that. Anyways, so back to the Chick-Fil-A story.
Yeah, but we had to say that part. So pastor's kids. So anyways.
Yeah, so I was a pastor's kid. Chick-fil-A is like a Christian organization, right? So I'm interviewing, and the guy who was going to hire me, he's also a pastor's kid. So he was like, oh, cool, like blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I got the job. $7.93 an hour. Anyways.
Hey, you ballin'.
I was ballin'. I got put on nuggets. I was the fastest one at making nuggets. Like, what can I say?
Nugget Nick.
So I got the nickname Nugget Nick. So every time I was on the clock, they put me on the nuggets. Now, the only problem that came in is I liked those freaking nuggets. Those nuggets from Chick-fil-A are so good.
Who doesn't?
So, just like anybody who likes Chick-fil-A nuggets, I'm going to eat those suckers. And since they wanted to make us pay $100, like we didn't get any, there was zero, like, what's the word for it?
Incentive?
Yeah, there was zero incentive for any workers there. Like, nobody that worked there got any deals on anything. We had to pay 100% for all the food, no matter what.
Wait,
even
really?
if we're on the job. Yep, even if you were on the job, 100%.
Do they still do it like that? I thought
No, listen, it's because Chick-fil-A is like franchise. So, like, each Chick-fil-A has a different owner. Oh. So the one I was working at was like that. The one 2 miles down the road,
give you like free
they got
lunch?
100%. They got 100. So I'm like, I'm working at the wrong freaking one. Anyways, so here's the thing. I wasn't even being bad and like eating the nuggets that like everybody else is gonna eat, right? How Chick-fil-A works, at least the one I worked at, is we'd put the nuggets in, put them down the chute, and the very little bottom pieces we had to throw out. They're still freaking nuggets. Like, I don't understand. Like, why don't we feed those to the workers is what I'm constantly thinking. Or why don't you guys give it to the homeless or something? Like,
same one. Like, when I used to work in food, yeah, the same thing.
Yeah, like, why don't they?
They always throw it out.
Nope,
they always throw it out.
They wanted to throw it out. They're like, no, then it's just fair for everybody. I'm like, dude, there's enough nuggets here to feed the entire, like, city of Jacksonville. Like, I don't understand.
All the homeless people could have nuggets for the next week.
Like, dude, you don't understand. Like, literally hundreds of nuggets a day just being thrown out. Because they're not, like, big enough or whatever. And it's just, like, it's so dumb. So
are we going to get sued for saying this?
So instead of throwing them in the trash.
Are we getting sued?
No.
I'm scared. I'm scared to go up against Chick-fil-A.
No.
Chick-fil-A, I love you. Sponsor me.
Look, I love Chick-fil-A. I love the food. But the thing was, the one I was working at, they, like, made me throw out the food. And I didn't want to do that. So I was constantly eating those little nuggets. And my boss caught me one time and was like, if it happens again, you're going to be fired. Anyways, since I got caught eating those, he hated me. He asked me to work a Saturday, right? I was in high school, so generally I only worked after school, which means I worked the night shift, so it was all dinner foods. So they served different food in the mornings. He asked me to work a Saturday morning this one time. I was like, sure. I come in. I've never dealt with any breakfast foods at Chick-fil-A. So as somebody who's brand new to working on a morning shift, you'd think I'd maybe have, I don't know, a couple questions. So anyways,
how dare
I go
you
in there,
question them?
I'm working, and he's on the job that day, which usually I didn't work with him. I worked with a different manager because he was always working mornings. He says, hey, can you grab me the peppers and onions? I said, where can I find the peppers and onions? What kind of a nice little question. This man grabs my arm, carries me over to the freezer and goes, they're right in here, you idiot. And he starts cursing me out, F-bombs and everything. I'm like, I don't understand.
Wait, the Chick-fil-A manager?
Yeah.
Aren't they supposed to be like,
yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Good? Whatever good means.
So he's going off on me. I'm like, oh my God, bro, like, chill out.
That's against the Chick-fil-A brand.
Yeah. But like this dude, listen, he only had a job because it was like his brother or it was his cousin that was the one who owned it. So he was a manager.
You think he's
there.
still the manager there now?
I went back a few times, and every time I saw him. But I haven't been there in like a year. But
dang.
Yeah, like, I mean, and this
no
was,
way.
I worked there when I was like 17, so this was like 7 years ago. So yeah, he like 40-year-old man still working at Chick-Fil-A. Anyways, anyways. So this dude grabs me, right? I am like on the verge of going, I'm a nice person, but literally, I'm pretty positive this is illegal. Like you cannot put your hands on me like this. Number 2,
it's illegal.
Why the frick are you cussing me out over asking a very simple question, which is where's the peppers and onions? Calling me an idiot when it's not like you've showed me before either. It's not like this is like the 50th time I've asked. This is the very first time I've asked and the very first time I've ever worked a morning shift. I could not believe what was going on. I was like, I'm quitting this job. So,
that's wild.
Anyways, what I did was that there was like a couple weeks went by, right? And there was a new Chick-fil-A that was opening up down the street. All the managers were going to be gone. And I was supposed to be working that night. I had just got a new job. Literally, they let me know like the morning of that I got the job. And I was working at like a different like restaurant or something. And I was like, oh. So I go into work, right? And it was my last day.
Oh,
so
Nick.
I go into work and I tell my friend, I was like, hey, Nora, I got the job. And she's like, oh, congratulations. You can finally get out of here. I just felt so bad, man. All these, half of the workers were like me. They were like, I'm never going to be able to leave Chick-fil-A. Like, they felt like they were in bondage or something at this one.
Chick-fil-A prison.
It was, I want to clarify. It was only this one, okay? So the other Chick-fil-A's that people worked at were so much cooler. This specific one, I don't know what it was about it, but it was not good. Like, it was just the management was, like, so bad and so disrespectful to all the workers. And, like, just the fact we got no incentives, no nothing. Like, it just kind of made the whole experience bad. Anyways, so I tell her that I got the new job and all the managers are gone. So what I did was I grabbed a whole handful of chicken nuggets, shoved them in my mouth, and started dancing in front of the cameras. I didn't think that they were all watching, but come to find out, at this new party, there was like 100 managers there, and I was on the big screen dancing in front of them, and I got fired. Okay, it was the funniest thing to hear about. My little sister just got hired at the Chick-fil-A that I was at, too.
What?
So I'm dancing, I'm going, I quit, and I'm pointing at the camera.
Nick, you are the most extra person.
It was so extra. It was so extra. I wish y'all could have seen it.
This story never gets old.
Yeah, so I'm dancing. My friend Nora's like, Nick, stop. They're probably watching the cameras. I'm like, come on. They're not watching the cameras. They're all at a party right now. They forgot about us. They don't care. And come to find out, I tell him 2 days after that, I send him a text and say, hey, I'm sick. Sorry, can't come into work. When, you know, in reality, I got a new job, so I was going to work there instead. So I didn't really care. He texts me, and I also said in the text, hey, how do I put in my 2 weeks? He texts me back and says, no need to put in your 2 weeks. And that was it. Never said another word to me again. And I was like, so I told him I wanted to put in my 2 weeks. Anyways, Sammy goes back into work. My little sister goes into work like a couple days after that. And everybody's like, did you hear about what your brother did? I'm like a criminal. Like, they had me on like a FBI Chick-fil-A's most wanted, like,
you probably still wouldn't be allowed in that
No, listen. I got another story after that about whenever I went back. So anyways, Sammy's getting told about how, like, I'm just, like, some major criminal for what I did. All the managers are like, you would not believe the horror that your brother did. I'm like, I danced with a handful of chicken nuggets. Like, I'm not a psychopath.
They're worth $5. Like,
yeah, I'm not a psychopath. Like, you want your $5? Go ahead. Like, whatever, dude. Anyways, you were gonna throw out those chicken nuggets anyways. Like, screw y'all. Anyway, so they're going off on her, and they told her, we fired your brother. And I'm over here like, I literally told them I was putting my 2 weeks in. And I wouldn't have done that dance if I wasn't trying to keep my job. I didn't care about my job. So
did you technically get fired, or did you?
They put it into their. I guess they put it into their system that
Nick,
I got fired.
Nick, you got fired, but at the same time you didn't. It's
weird because
50,
I was the first one to say, I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Nick's
but then
like,
he responds with, you don't need to. And I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever, Mr. Jerkface. Anyways, so let's just say it was probably a couple weeks went by, right? Maybe a month or so. I go back with my friends. I'm just going to order some food. I go in there. I get greeted by all of the managers to say, you're not welcome here. And I'm like,
are you serious?
I'm like, I'm just trying to buy some food. They're like, no, you're trying to get free nuggets. And I'm like, I would like some free nuggets, yes, but I was actually just here to order a spicy chicken sandwich. But I guess I could leave. And the whole place is like looking at me, and I'm just like, geez, like I can never go back to this Chick-fil-A again. Like, dude, all I did was eat a few chicken nuggets and dance into a camera, and they're treating me like I like killed half of the employees, and like they need a cop in order. Like every time they greet me, like it's ridiculous. Oh Jug was wild.
That is wild.
But every time I went back there since then, like I try to go back like every once in a while just to like see if that old man's still working there. And every time I go back, I can see like straight into the back, and I just see him back there, and I'm just like, wow, what a sorry loser.
Probably still hates your guts, Nugget.
He probably does.
Nugget Nick.
But yeah,
you're really out here stealing nuggets and pointing at cameras, saying, "I quit." Look, and there's 100 managers from all over the city watching you at the same time, going, "Can you please fire this kid?" and then no need. You already got a new job, and they didn't even know.
But I would like to disclose, Chick-fil-A as a whole, probably not even close to as bad. And I had friends who worked at the other ones that were just fine. But the one that I worked at sucked. Food was great. Food's always good. The food is always good.
Sandwich,
oh my gosh.
Spicy chicken deluxe sandwich. That's one of the only things I need in life to really be satisfied and live.
And look, I ain't even mad about the whole situation. In fact, it just makes for a great story.
I feel that.
And looking back, like, I just feel bad for that man, because I'm just like, dude, like, you must really hate your life to have to, like...
He hates his life.
Hire a bunch of teenagers. And
he hates his life if he started yelling at you and cussing at you. Dude, the first question you've ever asked.
No, he was going off. Like, when I say going off, like, I was blown away. I was like, this can't be real life right now. Like, all I did was ask a simple question. Like, I wish I could have had that scenario recorded. Like, I could have the camera footage, because...
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but when it's crap like that, I'm like, there's no benefit to be given. Even if you were having a terrible day, I would never start cussing and going off on a brand new employee.
Dude, what the heck? Like, and it's not like I, like, did something to, like, escalate the situation. I asked, "Where's the peppers and onions?" The very first time.
I'm sorry. I'll never ask again.
That's like getting mad at somebody for walking into your house and being like, "Where can I put my coat?" What the?
Like, how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
Or like, "Where's the bathroom?" And they start cussing at you. Like, how do you not know this?
Exactly. How do you not know where the bathroom? It's like, because it's my first time. It's not like I've been at your house 30 times.
Nick, how dare you ask where the peppers and onions are?
It takes 2 seconds to answer a simple, easy question. All he had to say was, "In the freezer." That's it.
The fact that he grabbed your arm is insane.
Grabbed my arm.
Like, why did you not escalate that?
I would have like this. I was like,
I would have escalated the crap out of that. I would have. That's what I'm saying. I would have been like, first off, don't touch me. Who the hell do you think you are touching me?
Well, that's why
I would have lost my mind,
since he touched me, I was like, nah, I'm quitting. He's just lucky I didn't like try to like bring a lawsuit out of it.
That's what I'm saying. The amount of stories I hear from like you and like my friends who have had like really crazy stories. I've had some really crazy stories. I probably could have maybe given a lawsuit or two.
But I'm not like that. I'm just not that kind of person.
Well, yeah, we aren't, but it doesn't matter. It's
I'm not the kind of person that's like, an eye for an eye. Like, I'm kind of a turn the other cheek kind of person. But I did kind of get him back by going and eating the nuggets, because I know that pissed him off, because he told me, I think he had told me 2 times he was going to fire me if I did it one more time. So I made sure to do it in the camera. What I didn't know is apparently they had me on a big screen at the party, because they were trying to go through all the different Chick-fil-A's, because every manager from every Chick-fil-A was there. So none of the stores were being managed by actual managers. It was just employees for this one specific day. Like, this like never happens, but it was only because they were opening up a new Chick-fil-A, and it was just a big party they were all trying to have. So I'm guessing they were going through each store looking at the stuff. In fact, I actually Dustin, remember? He worked at Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. Him and Paige. And they told me they were managers at a different store, and they said they were there when that happened, because they showed up to our church one day.
Oh, what?
Oh my God, it's so funny. This guy shows up to our church. He ended up joining our church for like a while. This was like years ago, but he shows up to our church. I'm on stage playing the guitar.
It's Nugget Nick.
And this man comes up to me after church and goes, "I know you, Nugget Nick." And I'm like, "Hi."
Nick,
like,
you're famous.
Dude, I'm like famous in Chick-fil-A world around where I live. Like. And I'm like, "Hello?" And he's like,
famous criminal.
He's like, "Wow." He's like, "I never thought that I'd meet you." He's like, "We saw you on the big screen." He's like, "What you did?" He's like, "We've never seen that before." And then he goes on to say, he goes, "It was actually really funny." He's like, "Your store owner, though, the guy who hired you, yeah, he hates your guts, and he's really mad about it. But he's like, the rest of us thought it was actually pretty funny."
And now you're a comedy creator on TikTok.
Now I'm a comedy creator on TikTok. But he worked at one of the good Chick-Fil-A's where they got like 50 to 100% off and all that stuff.
You realize you were a famous criminal on the worship team at church? So the guy walks in, he's like, wait, that guy who's playing the guitar for Jesus up there? Yeah, he also stole nuggets from a Chick-fil-A. I don't know why that's so funny, Nick. I love it. Okay, well, this episode took an interesting turn, but honestly, I think it was pretty funny.
We had other stuff we were going to talk about. We didn't even talk about it.
It doesn't matter.
We'll just save it for next
Nick,
episode.
we have 100 million episodes to go. Well, I mean,
we'll just save it for next time.
Depending on if you guys listen to us. If you don't listen to us, there won't be more episodes. But if you do, there certainly will be.
Please listen.
But please listen to us.
Please listen.
So guys, we hope you guys liked the episode. Like I said, if you want to hear more from us, check out our Instagrams and TikToks and whatever, and hit us up if you want us to talk about something specific. Mine is at Alex Princess with 3 X's and 3 S's, and his is at It's Me, Nick Smithy. So hit us up, and then make sure you follow at Not Related Podcast on everything.
Instagram, TikTok.
If you want to watch this episode, you can go on YouTube and search Not Related Podcast.
Yeah, you can just watch us talk.
And you can watch us talk. Not that it's any more interesting than listening, because we're literally just sitting down on like Nick's on a beanbag and I'm on a chair. We're literally chilling.
We just want to keep it chill.
We're we're chilling. So we really appreciate you guys listening, and we hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. And hit us up. Love you guys.
Deuces.